Kreature Korner.
Moose. Oh, what's ghouling on, my funky fiends? It's me, the Grand Duke of Spook, Kris Bell, here with another exciting episode of the Kreature Korner, Cryptid Corner, Mockumentary Files. It's a lot of names, but it's a lot of show. So, before we get into it, tonight's show is officially sponsored by our friends at Goblin House. Goblin House, for all your spooky needs. And tonight's coffee is the deliciously scented flavor that is the Turtle Race. Oh yeah, do you like that legally branded name brand ice cream? Well then you will love Turtle Race. Now that's a good cup of coffee. That's a good cup of coffee. Tonight's cryptid is one that deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame here at Kreature Korner because we loved talking about this cryptid, but I don't feel like he's been given the proper stage to showcase his spooky goodness. So tonight, it is my pleasure, my funky fiends, to present to you the one, the only, the main man from Maine, the Spectre Moose. Haroo! That's right, my boy, the Spectre Moose, coming from the lands of Maine. We're going to tell your story, don't you worry. I appreciate you coming back on the show. I appreciate you being here with us, and I want your tales to be told. So tell the camera now. Look into his eyes. Look into his eyes. Here we go. Saddle up on your Spectre Moose and prepare yourselves for a journey. Picture it. The year was 1891 in Maine. So an extremely large white moose was seen for the first time in Maine by Clarence Duffy of Old Town, all the way back in 1891. Now Clarence was a hunting guide who was working around the area. He's walking along the trail when all of a sudden he stumbles upon the Spectre Moose. Now absolutely horrified by the encounter, he told people about it, but was laughed at. However, just a few months later, a Bangor lumberman named John Russ, who was also in the same area, also saw the big moose. So with this second sighting, people began to believe.
Hello. I'm sure my reputation precedes itself. Gee. So anyway, the first encounter that happened that very same year, a hunter from New York was in the area and spotted the Spectre Moose, which at the time he just thought was a big moose. So he fired several shots at the animal, hoping, I guess, to kill it. And it was completely unfazed, and it then charged at the New York hunter, who took refuge in a bear cave, which, lucky for him, there were no bears in there. Is it still a bear cave if there's no bears? Is it just a cave at that point with no bears? But anyway, he took refuge in the bear cave, or the cave, until the moose kind of wandered off and went off on his own. Now, once reports of all these sightings began getting out around, it obviously attracted several hunters to the area. What's ghouling on, my funky fiends? It's me, the Grand Duke of Spook, Kris Bell. So, you want to know a little more about the Spectre Moose? Well, what you don't know is many of the beginning stories were widely discounted until a New York sportsman, that's a fancy word for hunter, named Howard Van Ness saw the big moose and shot him several times in 1892. Van Ness described the animal as weighing a ton and being as tall as a camel with magnificent head and antlers. After he shot and hit the animal just above the shoulder, the moose let out a deep bellow and a grunt before coming after Van Ness. That's right, who had to hide until the moose got bored and moved along. Maybe that'll be a lesson to all you kids not to just fucking shoot things.
The story gained national attention when it was described in a New York Times article in November of 1899.
Oh yes, the Spectre Moose. I remember hearing a story about that a lot of times as a kid. One in particular, there was a man named George Nealand that from Sherman, Maine, who was riding on his bicycle on a road just outside of Sherman, Maine. At first, he thought it was a horse, so he stopped to take a closer look, but then realized it was something very different. Suddenly, the immense beast charged at him, forcing him to climb a tree and take refuge. The beast stalked below him for a time before moving on. I remember a bicyclist. Came through town not too long ago. Went missing. Whole town's been worried about it. Shame it was, really. Shame.
Look at my face. As you can see, I'm a very, very old man. I'm so very old. I'm an old man of the sea, as you can also tell. An old man of the sea. That's right, a man who has spent his life on the sea and is now old, which makes me an old sea man. Yes, which means I am full of old seaman tales of the sea, and of men of the sea, who have also grown in age to be old, like me, who is a very old man of the sea. The Spectre fucking what?
Savage!
What up, fam? You already know who it is. Ya boy. Now, I know you heard a bunch of stories today about the Spectre Moose, but I'm gonna tell you one of the fucking craziest you ever heard. Ya boy. So dig this. One day, this group of hunters, right, out by the Mallory stream in east central Maine. They're hunting. They're looking for stuff. They all of a sudden shoot and bag this big white moose. They slit its throat and hang it up to dry so they can skin and dress it the next day. Fucking brutal, dude. But here's the crazy fucking part about it all. Yeah, boy. They're hanging out in the camp. They get up that night. Maybe one of them gets up to take a leak. You know how it fucking is. Maybe one of them gets up to take a piss. And he looks out and the moose is fucking gone, bro. Thing is out of there. All of a sudden, sauntering back into the campsite, this dead fucking moose. Throat still slit, doesn't give a fuck, bro. Straight up walks back into their campsite, looks them in the eye like, sup. They take aim. They're like, fucking gunning this thing down, and it just brushes it off. No fucking problem. Walks off, dude. Spectre Moose. Savage as fuck.
Savage!
Okay, just real quick. Why is that the answer every time someone sees one of these cryptids? The first thing they do is they shoot at it. Why do we have to shoot at everything? Why can't it just be a thing? Why do we have to see something and we're just like, Well, my moosey friend, I think that's about all we have time for. I want to say thank you to Goblin House. I want to say thank you to Pedal Java, and I want to say thank you to all my funky fiends who tune into these cryptid mockumentaries and let me keep making them. I'm enjoying making them, so thanks for actually watching them. If you like them, make sure you're sharing the video so other people that might also like it are seeing it, and then tell them to like and subscribe to the page and the channel. That way you know when I post new stuff. The podcast episode will be coming out when it comes out. And it'll feature more of a discussion type video of the Spectre Moose. So stay tuned for that. But until then, be sure to keep those eyes peeled, my funky fiends, because there's always more coffee and more creepy ghouling on in the Kreature Korner. Boo-bye.
I know Moose. I know Moose better than I know myself. Moose. I am a very old man. Look at how old I am, and I'm talking like Bill Cosby.